Now, this might be a little bit of a dark video, but everyone's talking about the Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony situation.
Today's hearing has already brought new, very revealing information about Anthony and Austin Metcalf. That was never brought up at trial, by the way. J.D. Miles has been in the courtroom through this day, and he has the new details.
Well, we expect the hearing today to wrap up at any moment and testimony to continue tomorrow. As many of you know, there was a private off-the-record agreement during the murder trial by both sides to keep the sordid backgrounds of Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, their character and their criminal history, private and out of view of the jury, so they could focus solely on what happened under the tent last year at that Frisco track meet. Now, both sides have decided to release that background history, with the defense going first, releasing 20 pages of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 reveal that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day. Now, prosecutors, meanwhile, have a 75-page document on Carmelo Anthony's background, which they plan to present to the court tomorrow. In that report, they mentioned that Carmelo Anthony, on the morning before the stabbing, sent out a text saying he's low-key on the verge, which was a sign they say that he was easily triggered. Also, that his girlfriend had gone to their school principal and said that he had been stalking her and was asking for help. Again, all of this information is coming from extractions from cell phones, school records, and police reports. We'll have much more on this coming up tonight at 10.
Now, one thing I will say is that there's a lot of people that have done stuff like this in their past, but at the same time, that doesn't justify the boy losing his life. And I think the whole main issue with this is that everyone is making it a race issue, and we got to be honest and call it a spade a spade. That's exactly what it was for these two boys. Like, if I'm gonna be real, like that's where like the underlying tension was. And yet, like, yeah, there's so much that's coming out that apparently the kid was bullied and stuff like that, and he but like neither of them were saints, all right? So that neither of them were saints, and I think a lot of us, like, we aren't saints either. But my thing about this is that if this was already like if this was known, this should have been at the forefront of everything. But I understand why it was kind of held back to a degree, is because it would take away from exactly like what was done. The boy lost his life, and that exactly was not. It just shouldn't have happened. It just shouldn't happen. And unfortunately, you can't be everywhere at once and stop things like this. But I've been looking at this story a lot, and I've been like getting caught up on what's going on. And the kid threw his life away over this. He shouldn't have did it. My point is that I understand what it's like to be bullied. I think a lot of people understand that, but at no point do you want to take someone's life. And I think that's the main issue with all of this. And not only does one family not have their child anymore, but two families lost their children. And then the other one, he's probably gonna have, like, I've been seeing a lot of videos about this and about like where he's gonna go, like the prison and stuff, and like the type of people that are in there and like what he's gonna have to deal with. It's a shame that something like this that probably could have been taken care of or kind of handled differently turned out the way this is. And that's really my take on that. But there's so many people that are like that have passed like that. Like, I've seen, you wouldn't believe the type of group chats I've seen people with, like, with swastika symbols and stuff like that. Like, hey, there's some crazy stuff out there. But what I will say is that regardless of his actions, and like you can see that you some could argue that it's like maybe a form of karma or something like that, but in no reason he should have lost his life for something like that. So that's all I'm gonna kind of say about this. And you have to be careful with stuff like this, because even though like this happen. Like people are doing stuff like this to each other every day. I think it's just the fact that they're just two different races of people that it's kind of blown up into something. And it's been some crazy stuff that people have been like doing and like donating him money and like that. I don't know about that one, Chief. Like there's just too much going on with this story. But I don't know. The culture just needs something different. If you really had a problem with him, like that's something you handle with your two hands. You don't take someone's life over something like that. But hey, let me know what you think in the comment section if you have been following the story or what your thoughts were. And like the video if you did, subscribe if you're new, and I will check you out on the next one. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.